I was sentenced to 10 years hard labor. Tomorrow, I finally get to go home to my family. The man swiped at the sweat stinging his eyes, his fingers dragging trails through the rust-red dust coating his skin. Penal Colony 49's twin sons beat down like vultures' eyes above him, unblinking, unrelenting. His back screamed with every swing of the hammer, but he kept going. Day 3649, he told himself. Another day closer to freedom. Back in his cell, he knelt before the wall, carving a scratch into the stone. The march of tally marks stretched toward the floor. He closed his eyes and clung to the memories that had kept him alive all these years. Clara's laugh as she spun little Amelia in the garden. Sophie's sleepy mumbles when he tucked her in. The smell of his home, the sound of chimes on the front steps. You're almost there, he thought. One more day, and I'll go home. The crime that had sent him here, a stolen ration card to feed his daughters, felt like a lifetime ago. He'd spent 10 years laboring under these suns, guilt gnawing at him, his body breaking. But he had endured for them, for home. The morning of his release, he stood at the colony gates, a worn satchel slung over his shoulder. His grayed hair and weathered face bore the weight of a decade's labor, but his eyes burned with anticipation. He'd soon see Clara waiting at the dock, her arms open. He'd hold her again. He'd see his girls. Two guards approached, their black visors reflecting the barren horizon. One handed him a datapad. Penitentiary release form, the pad started. Date sentenced, Row 202-2087. A date seared forever into his memory. His eyes slide further down the pad. Date released, 202-2315. His breath caught in his throat. He frowned. What is this? The guard's voice was flat, devoid of any humanity. Standard time dilation. It's part of the interstellar sentencing protocols. Earth experienced a time lapse of 228 years for your 10-year sentence. The words struck like cannon shot to his chest. He staggered, the satchel slipping from his shoulder. No. His voice cracked, raw and broken. They're waiting for me, my girls. The guard didn't flinch. Who knew how many times this exact realization played out before him? He dropped to his knees. For the longest time, he knelt there, silent, almost catatonic. Tears trailed down his dust-covered face as his thoughts ground in his head. I worked for them, he sobbed, trembling. Every day, I survived just to see them again. I just want to go home. Somewhere deep in his mind, Clara and the girls blurred, their faces fading like the stars he'd once dreamed of seeing again beneath an Earth sky. He clung to their memory, but space and time, thieves more ruthless than any judge or jury, had stolen everything, even love.